We are live, and this week the theme has been both a combination of goal setting and decision making. So I'm going to bring both of them together here on a whiteboard Wednesday. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications when these videos go live. You'll get notifications when some of the YouTube short stuff goes live. For me, I'm prioritizing content on YouTube. And really want to see what we can do inside the channel, or what we can do relative to engagement. And we had a conversation with Morgan Ingram a number of months back, and he was talking about YouTube in the context of as a social channel, as a place to drive community, and never really thought about how comments do that. But here's where we are. And if you happen to be one of the first couple of people who start commenting, be able to interact with me directly, because I'm the person who responds to each of these. I will take the comments, look at the comments, and see how we can incorporate those into questions. But let's get to the focus today. So the focus today is what happens when we need to deprioritize a goal. One of the goals that many of you have heard me talk about, at least if you've been around for a while, is the need to write a book. And to give you a little bit of background information, the reason why I launched the podcast originally was because I do not get energy out of writing. So I don't get energy out of writing. I'm not going to get myself into a situation where I'm going to be driven to do a lot of that kind of stuff. So I thought, all right, well, let's go ahead and do the podcast. Podcast is now up to episode 351. Which is pretty cool. I've been able to meet a number of amazing people, and I think I've gotten better at asking questions as a result, both asking questions and listening. So let's get into that deprioritizing a goal. Now, here are a couple of numbers. These are my numbers. I'll share them with you. And I've got them up on a little Post-it note right here, and you'll see me put them up on the board. 195, 250, and 10. 195, 250, and 10. 195 is the weight that I want to be at. Right now I'm sitting 212. I've been stuck in this 210 to 215 plateau for a number of months. And 195 is where I want to get to. Now, that's my number one priority now. Why? Because if I'm not here, if I'm not healthy, I won't be able to do the things that I need to do in order to support customers, support family. So I've got to be here. 195 is my number. That's where I'm at. So 195 is the target, and that's a weight number. Now, many of you might say, don't worry as much about weight, worry about body comp. I get it, understand. My goal is 14% body fat, and right now I'm probably closer to 20, 22-ish, a little bit thick. But so number one, 195. Number two, 250. 250 is the financial number that I want us to get to from a liquid asset perspective, so that I feel more comfortable playing really, really loose relative to where we want to test. The 250 gives us the flexibility that I feel comfortable with in order to test in other markets, test other things, be more comfortable saying no to certain opportunities when they're not the right fit. So 250K in liquid assets available, so that we can be more comfortable in the testing range. And then 10K per month. This is the speaker number. I want to get to a point where I'm averaging 10K per month from public speaking activities. Now, the thing that I'm kind of working through there is, are those public speaking activities, are they training, traditional kind of training in the classroom or in the office or on Zoom, some kind of virtual environment who's training? Is it keynote? Is it facilitated conversations? And those are the three kind of areas. And then there's some other stuff that I'm seeing in the market, which makes me think, okay, that might be interesting to test. But this is the target: 10K per month in speaking, 250K liquid assets, 195 weight. Why did I share that? Well, one of the goals that I've shared with a number of people over the years is the goal of writing a book. Now, when you talk with people about writing a book, that becomes the single thing that they get focused on. And everybody says, okay, well, here's how you do it. This is the process. This is the structure. This is the way to go through. Oh, whenever I've kind of started down that path, again, I just haven't found kind of the runner's high or found the energy out of doing that kind of work. It doesn't mean that writing the book is not still a goal. It just doesn't fall into my top three. So if it doesn't fall into the top three, I've got to be comfortable having it out there in the background, but not allowing it to get in the way of where I'm focused time, energy, and attention relative to the top three. So where do the top three come from? Well, I shared a little bit about speaking. There are training opportunities, there's keynote opportunities, and facilitated discussions around leadership teams. So if you're struggling with cross-team collaboration, having a facilitator in the room can really help with the types of questions that someone like me or others can ask to help draw information out. And then we can put some information up on a whiteboard. Keynote, I've got a couple of those topics around simplifying execution. So simplifying how you achieve results through strategy and tactics, simplifying problem solving and decision making, simplifying communication. Those are some of the talks that I can give when in front of the room. The other one that was fascinating, the other 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, I had a chance to do a one on leveraging AI to augment the human, and the feedback was amazing. It doesn't relate to any of the technical skills that I will typically train on or focus on, but it's a hot topic and people are super interested. So it's making me kind of think a little bit differently about, hey, if these are the things I need to do, what are my potential paths to doing it? So what are my potential paths to doing it? Getting into goal setting and execution here. Paths are research. I need to understand I need to do the work, understand what content is actually resonating in the market. What are people interested in? I need to develop content. In order to do this, I have to get out there and speak on these things, get some reps. In addition to the stuff that I can do in the room here and put things together, I actually got to get out in the market and see how people respond. So that leveraging AI to augment the human, uh, super interesting stuff from a feedback standpoint. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to get it out there and actually do some of the pipeline creation and pipeline development work. So this is the traditional sales stuff. Gather data, conduct research, identify potential prospects based on feedback that I'm hearing or things that I'm seeing, engage with those folks directly, establish objectives, clarify next steps, call people to action. So doing things from the sales side. Now the 250K, that's going to be a little bit different because that's got to come from a couple of different areas. One path to get there is reduce expenses. So we reduce spending. Looking at different tools that we're using today and figuring out what is it that we need to eliminate. So reduce expenses. Another way to do it is to generate more income, get back to this 10K. So these are directly related to each other. And then the third one is bring on more, which is where we've made the money inside the business to date, is more of the fractional project-based type work with organizations, whether it's specifically related to assessing a team inside go-to-market, building out new processes and systems because that's what's needed, or training and coaching folks. So this is the fractional advisory and consulting type work. On that side, what I need to do is I need to bring in I've got capacity. I could do 3, but my goal is 2 new clients before the end of the year in that specific area. And the reason 2 is because if I go too hard into this, it starts to take away from that. So just, again, making decisions. Jenny Guarta was on the podcast a while back where she talked about this over that. 195 over 250. Why? Because if I'm not in the kind of shape that I want to be in, it's going to be really hard to get to these other numbers. Why? Because of just personal confidence, how I'm feeling about things, level of energy that I bring to conversations. 250 over the speaking. So, from a prioritization perspective, I've got to figure out ways to get the time to do the outreach, both from a referral perspective, going into my network and letting people know, hey, here are some of the things that I'm working on, what I'm seeing inside the market, where I might be able to help you inside your organization, which is where typically where most of the businesses come from, or direct outreach based on some indicators, pardon me, that I'm seeing inside the business. Excuse me for that. So 195 over the 250, 250 over the 10K. Those are my priorities. All three of these over getting the book done. All three of those over getting the book done. When you lay out a plan like this or lay out your goals like this, you can start to prioritize. If you have not been able to document your goals, very simple numbers: 195, 250, 10. It's really hard to be able to do this. You can find yourself caught up in that trap of going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and not really getting anything accomplished. This typically shows up in instances where people get to the end of the day, they look back and they say, what did I accomplish? What did I move forward? Where did I make progress? If you're running through those kind of questions, the game plan might be a good fit for you. And it starts with the game plan notebook. That's the you do it on your own. If you want to accelerate that, there are a couple of ways to do it. One is to book a coaching call with me. The other one is to book a clarity call. If you're operating from the perspective of what can we do with your team, clarity call is really good. If it's more on the individual side of things, then that would recommend starting out with the coaching call. But 195, 250, 10, those are my areas of focus. The book gets deprioritized because I've just got these top three that I'm going to focus time, energy, and attention on. Now, something else that I'm actually looking at: how can I take the work that I'm doing in here and use it to inform what happens here? Getting these goals to work with each other. One of the hard parts about telling so many people about the general goal of writing a book is when you are a person who's focused on goal setting and execution through clarity and focus, and you've got a goal out there that you've not been able to achieve, people start to question whether or not you can do the things that you say you can do. That's just noise. Nobody knows how you're prioritizing things. Though what they do know is what you share. So if you continue to share that this is a priority, the book is a priority, then people will have something to start judging you on. My guidance there: share your priorities. I've shared these with Jen: 195, 250, 10. We're aligned on that. She knows. Now, when we're going through from a decision-making perspective, does the thing that I'm working on right now align with the 195, 250, or the 10? If no, eliminate it. If yes, keep going. When it comes to the book, that's just something that I've decided to deprioritize because it doesn't fall into the top three. At some point in time, as we get these things taken care of and get moving forward, this will become, the 195 will become less of an issue. Then 250 probably becomes top. 10 is in there in the middle, and then the book moves on. So that's how I think about goal setting and execution from the perspective of when it's time to, I don't like using this word, but sometimes you have to, when it's time to deprioritize or quit on a goal inside the short term. And right now, my deprioritized one is this book. Let me know what you think. Does this help you? Does this structure help you? If it does, let me know in the comments. If it doesn't, let me know that in the comments. I want to get better at this stuff. And for right now, we don't see enough, we're not getting enough data on YouTube to see where some of the drop-off rate pieces are. So the direct feedback from you as you're watching this and as you're paying attention to it is really, really helpful to me. Hope you have an awesome day. If you're struggling with goal setting and execution, you know a guy. Go to findmycatalyst.com for more information about best ways to work with me, how to work with us. Tomorrow thing on Throwback Thursday is all going to be about making it easy for people to work with you, making it easy for people to work with you. Hope you have an awesome day. Please share this with someone if you think they'd find the conversation valuable. If you didn't find it valuable, let me know why. I want to get better. Thanks.